Hello, guys. I'm back. Third time today. Little bit's resting. She's doing her thing. She's feeling better. I just gave her some more Tylenol or Motrin. We're going back and forth with which one. Hello, Victoria's voice. Hello, lovely. How are you? So good to see you. Lovely. I dropped the link just in case. He's talking about the ICE shooting, that woman in her car. That was a trip-a-doo. And I wasn't done talking about it. And so we're definitely going to talk about her getting shot. Yes. The scary part to me about this whole ICE situation is how the administration is trying to downplay the circumstances or make it seem like it was all the victim's fault. And she didn't have a weapon on her. She wasn't trying to use her car to hit the officers. She was trying to use her car to get away from them. Because if you notice, when the ICE gets out the car, whatever, and goes up to her car, he tells her to get out this car, open this car door, something with F. And she got scared in my mind, because I would have got scared and said, wait a minute, what are they going to do to me? She drove off and they started shooting her as she was leaving the scene. And hello, Polo. Glad I know. Back again. I'm back. Back again. Hello, Polo. Victoria maybe came and said hello. So good to see you, Victoria. Hello, Lisa. Wonderful, Lisa. And so I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around the situation that um that this woman used her car as a weapon. That is what the administration is trying to tell us, a different story from what we saw with our own eyes. Okay? We all saw it. I saw it, you saw it, they saw it, everybody saw it. Everybody saw that lady backing up, getting ready to leave the scene. And then that man pulls out his gun and just starts unloading the clip. He shot her in the face. 3 to 4 times in the face. Killed on scene. Everybody's talking about it. You can't turn on the TV and no one's talking about it. You can't turn on Netflix, YouTube, and no one's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. I am. I talked about it earlier today. I'm coming back talking about it this afternoon. So basically, what has went down is that the woman was scared. She was afraid. It's everywhere. It's a good idea for us to discuss. That this woman got shot while driving away in her car, scared of ICE, and they shoot her right there, broad daylight, right there in your face. I'm going to show you guys. This is trigger warning. This is a situation that's gone down today with ICE. I have a problem with them going around serving warrants and picking up people that's been living in the United States for years and then decide to go and snatch them out of their homes and their beds, and their kids are watching this like they're criminals. And they're not. They're United States citizens. They're being treated like cattle. And these ICE agents are thinking they are above the law. The first guy ran up on her and tried to open her car. Instead of asking her to get out the car and saying, "Can you turn off your car and get out the car?" Or, "Can I have a word with you?" He walks up to her aggressively, grabs her car door to try to open it. Thank God it's locked. And so she puts her car into drive and is finna get ready to move, to leave the scene. But before she could leave the scene, this idiot ICE agent pulled out a gun. Something about he went to the hospital for injuries. He didn't have no injuries. She didn't run over nobody's toe. She didn't have any ammunition. She didn't have a GUN. She was an innocent person that ICE was effing with, turned around and shot this woman in the head 4 times. 4 times. It's a bad situation. Not a good situation at all. And now the Trump's administration is trying to cover it up, sweep it under the rug, and pretend like it was all her fault. And making this victim be a victim all over again. I know she was scared and running for her life. I know she was like, "Wait a minute, let me get the hell out of here before something bad happens to me." She was afraid. She was afraid of what the ICE people were about to do to her, grabbing on her car door, almost going to pull her out of the car. Hello, Darcy. It's crazy. ICE has managed to kill. ICE has managed to kill a lady, 37 years old, with a child, and come up with this rubbish crap-a-doolittle about she was using her car as a weapon. She was dangerous. No, she didn't. We saw it with our own 2 eyes. Stop trying to sell us a bill of goods and tell us the truth. Stop trying to protect those that you elect. It doesn't make it okay. Just because you created this ICE machine, Trump, doesn't mean that they are above the law. You weren't even there. He wasn't even there. Donald Trump wasn't even there and was making comments about it. Interesting. It's really crazy. Hold on one second.
She wasn't even like a protester or anything. I know that you. He said that and thought like he can get away with it. I wouldn't have went this way. I thought it was going to be this busy.
Yeah, I have the Trump.
Yeah, read that for everybody.
I've just viewed the clip of the event, which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer.
Oh, she didn't. They're saying that she ran over the ICE agent. That is not what happened.
Paris Fashion Week.
Just imagine you're in the car on your way home and this ICE agent comes up to you.
All right, we have some tragic breaking news coming out of Minneapolis.
Thank you, Darcy. Hello, Demon Dictator. Well, Demon Dictator, if you take a look at the video, you'll see the ICE agent coming up to her car, grabbing her door and telling her to get the F out. That scared her, which would have scared me. And this is what I thought earlier. Scared her. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Taking care of a little business. So, you guys have been watching the news all day. When you turn on the news, what they're talking about? Okay. What? Which one is this? Sorry. Give me a sec. Let's hear what he's saying while you waiting on me.
Minnesota, where ICE agents just shot and killed an unarmed woman in her car. This is honestly the exact type of story I've dreaded having to report, and the exact type of situation that any rational American could have predicted based on the way that Trump and ICE have been operating over the past year. They have been operating in a lawless, reckless, and disproportionate way, and that is exactly what you see on the video on screen now. Now, the video isn't too graphic. It is disturbing because somebody is shot in their car, but you don't see anything overtly graphic. I think it's important that we watch this video because it directly contradicts the narrative that is coming out of the administration and coming out of ICE. Kristi Noem, before an investigation was launched, before we even had clear footage of the event, Kristi Noem was saying that the victim, the 37-year-old woman who was pronounced dead on the scene, is a, quote, domestic terrorist. They claim that she was actively putting ICE officers in danger and actively trying to take their lives. None of this is true. None of this is demonstrated by the video. The administration is going to spend probably the next few months.
Yeah, Demon Dictator. If you look at the video, it'll show you this ICE agent walking up to her car, pulling her car door open as if he was trying to get in. Yeah, that's what happened. And then as she got scared and was finna drive away, then here comes ICE agent shooting at her. ICE agents shooting at her. God, I just had it. Unless it's gone. I'm so sorry. Give me a sec, guys. I need a secretary, an assistant. God, where is it? So I don't see it. Yeah, I'll work on it. I do apologize, guys. Sorry about that. Demon Dictator says, yes, I can see that. So why drive away? Just stop and get out of the car. That's true. But like we were saying earlier, if your adrenaline is going and you're panicked, then your first reaction is to get the hell out of there. She wasn't in any immediate danger as far as, like, I say immediate danger, and look at her. She is in danger. She's surrounded by ICE agents, and one opened shot fire on her. There's no excuse for his behavior. Even if she did try to drive off, it still doesn't justify him shooting. Yes, he should have. She probably was. There's two walking up to the car, and then there's one in front of her. Okay, so one was telling her to turn around, according to my husband, and the other one was telling her to get the out the car, get the F out the car, like right now. Then when she was driving away from the scene, safe, nobody hurt or injured, pow, 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 right in the face. I bet you she saw her killer when he killed her.
Months spinning up legal and moral.
And just so you guys know, there is another narrative being told. I know what you're after. You're after her nuggets. Leave her nuggets alone, Mr. Rockadoodle. Mr. Rockadoodle is after Kara's nuggets. Can you check on her? No. I just gave her some Tylenol.
She kicked me out a little bit. She told me to go watch some football.
Is someone a football? Yeah, law enforcement. This is ICE. This is not your regular police station. This is ICE pulling on your door, aggressively telling you to get the fuck out the car. Like, I would have been scared. And like my husband said, she had conflicting people telling her, one told her to drive, the other one told her to get the fuck out the car. So there was a lot going on in that situation. Yes, Darcy, you're correct. You're correct. And the administration is trying to say that this lady was, she was dangerous and she was using her car as a weapon. And we saw the clip. She was not using her car for a weapon. That is not what she was doing. She was trying to get the hell out of there. And that was my first thought. It had to be her trying to get out of there and then them shooting at her. What was the shooting? What was that going to resolve? Him shooting at her, this unarmed woman in a car. That's why we have police officers that are trained and know what to do when they get into situations like this. Because it wasn't worth killing her. It wasn't worth killing her. That's how far they went. Pulled out the gun, pow, pow, pow. Unacceptable, unexcusable, inexcusable behavior. Yeah, Project 2030 is coming to fruition, but they said that it wasn't a project. There wasn't a mega project. No, what's going on is we're doing inhumane behavior. It's inhumane behavior. It only represents a certain amount of people that are being attacked and being shipped away. You're going back to your country. What country? That country doesn't exist to me anymore. I was a baby. I was born here. Now you're going to take the person that brought me into this world away from me? You're going to take my dad or my mom and put them in a country that they have never been to because they don't supposed to be here? This is the fucking solution. This is the solution to the problem? Treating people like animals? Nobody in this chat or in this on YouTube or wherever everybody is would not want the same treatment. You would not want that happening to you. You don't want ICE agents coming in your neighborhood and giving you warrants and taking you, putting them, you getting in their car. You don't know where the hell you're going. He has no ID on him. So we'll get where we're going. I'm thrown into one pit. They took my daughter and put her in another pit. Now I don't know where she is. When is what we see enough? Instead of trying to go off of someone else's interpretation. Just because she was fleeing the scene and trying to get the hell out of there because she saw that she was in danger. She tries to get out of there. Remember that one guy? He was a black guy. They went and they raided his house, and he got in his car and was driving off and was finna leave, and they shot him and killed him. There was an officer in front of the car. They asked her to stop and get out of the car. She refused and drove ahead. One of them told her to drive, to get out the way. And the other one told her to get the fuck out the car. And instead of getting the fuck out the car, she decided to drive off in fear. So when she drove off, she was already in fear. She was in fear and trying to get away. And instead of getting away, one of these idiot ICE people decides, oh, let's just shoot. That's the best remedy we got going on right here. Let's shoot. No, he got pissed off and angry and upset, and then check his attitude, then check who he was before he pulled out that gun and start shooting at an innocent woman. And whatever she had done, whatever she was in the process of doing, catch up with her later. Those bullets were going every and which way. She's trying to get away from the scene. Poor lady.
Arguments as to why this was justified, but keep in mind this was an unjustified use of force based on every video we've seen and based on every single
unjustified attack. That's what I'm saying. Whether she got out of the car, whether she complied or not, she had no weapons on her. She was trying to get away from the scene. And as she was trying to get away from the scene, this ICE agent starts to shoot. And he shot her in her head. Okay, Debbie. I just saw a protest that was out of this world. People were in the streets Protesting. Protesting. Why did they want her to get out the car in the first place? Good question. She wasn't breaking the law. She didn't do anything wrong. Thank you. No, all three of the men had got an attitude, was pissed off at her for some odd reason, and probably because she was telling the truth. And then all of a sudden, you see this one guy pull out a gun as soon as she drives off. As soon as she drives, he shoots. Like I said, like we said earlier, she probably was scared. I knew she wasn't, when the comment that I heard earlier, that didn't sound logical, that she would just deliberately want to run over these guys. No, because if she needed to run over them, she could have, but she didn't. And she wasn't trying to run them over. She was trying to get out the way and run. Whatever the case may be, whatever the reasons why she decided to run, it doesn't make it okay to shoot. It didn't make it okay for him to shoot. Get her license plates. Get a warrant for her arrest, but don't shoot her. Don't kill her in broad daylight because you're pissed off or angry or upset, whatever the case may be. He had to be upset to decide to just start shooting.
Eyewitness reports surrounding the area. Let me walk you through everything that's happened, including the response from Mayor Jacob Frey, who was so pissed he told ICE to get the F out of Minneapolis, to get the F out of the area.
He said that this was going to happen. He said we were going to have casualties due to ICE. Here's our first casualty. Is there going to be more? Is there going to be more? Poor lady. Poor lady. Lost her life because an ICE agent got trigger hungry and got the shooting at her. Shot her in her face. It's pathetic. I heard she was a protester too, and she was blocking the road. And maybe they got pissed off at her for blocking the road. Instead of handling it like gentlemen, they were barbaric and let this woman died in the hands of ICE. Then they're going to rush to the hospital like they got injuries. I didn't see no one hurt. I didn't see her run over nobody's foot or toe. I didn't see her run over anybody's toe or foot. Did you? No. Nobody's pinky toe was in a cast. Everybody else walked away fine and dandy. And whatever hospital stump that they stayed at, for what? He hit the front of her car, the bumper part. He hit the light on the side. She was turning her car not to hit anyone. I saw it. No reason to shoot her. No reason whatsoever.
jump into the video of this event unfolding, let's just
Here it
lay
is
out the
right here.
information as it happened. Starting off with this eyewitness account of the ICE shooting, then we'll go through the video, then the mayor's reactions. This reads,
And I just played an eyewitness account, and he said that the lady was trying to leave. She was in the process of leaving when that guy pulled out the gun, the ISIS man pulled out the gun and started shooting in her direction and shot and killed her.
witness to Wednesday's shooting in South Minneapolis told NPR News that she saw a federal agent shoot a woman several times. Emily Heller lives near 33rd and Portland and said she woke up to commotion outside her home. She said she saw a car blocking traffic on Portland Avenue that appeared to be a part of a protest against federal law enforcement operations. So we had a protest going on. Heller said she heard ICE agents telling the driver, a woman, to get out of here, to get out of here. Quote, she was trying to turn around and the ICE agent was in front of her and he pulled out a gun and put it right in, like his midriff was on her bumper, and he reached across the hood and shot her in the face like 3-4 times, Heller said. So according to this eyewitness report, they were yelling things at her. There were reports that they were yelling conflicting things. Some people were saying, get out of here. Some people were saying, go. Some were saying.
So she's being yelled at every which way. Get out of here, move your car, get out the way, step out the car, move. All this conflicting action that happened. So she made the best decision that was for her, and that was to try to move, because one of those were a request for her to do. Please move. There wasn't any pleases. Move your car, get out the way, move, get out. Get out your vehicle. They were yelling at her. They had got frustrated with her. They were upset. There's got to be protocols from when people upset you. You don't pull out a gun and think that killing or shooting someone is the best course of action. Can't be the course of action to be okay with someone being shot in broad daylight. Broad daylight. Trying to get away. Trying to get away from the scene. Because the scene was chaotic. There was no order. It was in disarray. And so whatever move she made, them officers and Skype people were already pissed off to the utmost festivity for one of them to bring out a whole gun on a civilian. On a civilian that is protesting. Then when they tell her to move her car, she gets ready to move it. She gets shot. Let me say it again. She gets ready to move her car. They tell her to move her car. She gets ready to move her car. Then one ICE agent jumps up and pulls her car door and tells her to get the F out. One's yelling at her, telling her to move. I would have done the same thing she would have done. I would have moved. And for that would have cost me my life. Sad.
And get out of your car. Heller said it appeared the woman then accelerated and traveled about 100 feet before striking a utility pole and some other vehicles. She could be seen slumped over inside her car, obviously deceased at this point. This follows a string of undertrained ICE agents going into usually majority Latino communities in order to stir shit up, scare people, rile shit up, and then when protests start, the Trump admin uses that as a pretext to use
These ICE agents, they go in there, They let you know their presence is here. And it's intimidating. It's scary for the people that live here. These people that live here in this country are scared to go to the grocery store because ICE might be there to pick them up. And that'll be the last time they see their family. Because Trump might ship them off somewhere to some far, far away land.
Who's more and more force. We have seen so many stories. What about this one? A 79-year-old U.S. citizen is now seeking $50 million after ICE agents allegedly body slammed him during a raid, causing broken ribs and a brain injury. This disproportionate use of force from undertrained ICE agents.
Okay, so here we go again. We have another injured person that has been flipped upside down, has a brain injury because the ICE agent flipped him up and flipped him on the ground. Who's next? Who's next in this fight? So he's going to get off and they're going to continue to do what they're doing, run up on people thinking they're above the law, yelling and cussing at people, picking them up and throwing them on the ground, treating them like they ain't nothing, mistreating people. He had to sue. He had to sue. These ICE agents aren't trained to do the job as a police officer. They're not. They're not trained like police officers. They haven't went to school. They haven't went to an academy. They haven't gone to no extensive training to know when to pull out a gun and when not to shoot at an unarmed woman in the face. Then he's going to run himself to the hospital like he's been hurt. The only person that's hurt is the one that you killed. That's it. That's the one that's not here anymore.
Has been seen time and time again, and it culminated into this deadly Minneapolis story that I want to show you video footage of. I want to say that somebody does die in this video. As a trigger warning, YouTube will likely deboost and depromote this video, so make sure you drop a like below. But let me just tell you, no matter how many times I watch this video, no matter how much I slow it down or how much I zoom in, the administration's reporting of the events that took place is so incongruent with the reality on the ground that it is offensive. It is offensive that Kristi Noem came out and called this victim a domestic terrorist right after this happened, literally minutes after this happened. Let me show you this video, and then I'll play it a little bit slower and show you the other angles. All right, her car then drives off, obviously as her foot is still on the gas. But let me just go back and show you this in slow motion because there's no reality.
In slow motion.
What the fuck?
Yep. No. That's what he says. Get out the fucking car now. Did y'all hear that? Was that clear? How he's walking up to her car, being aggressive while she's protesting, peacefully protesting. She has no weapons on her. She's not fighting him. She's unarmed. There it was. Do you see anybody being ran over? Do you see a car trying to run over a person? Didn't you see her turn her wheel, and as soon as she turned her wheel, he shot her. And you can hear the lady in the background saying, no, 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 don't do that. So he gets out with an attitude. Then this one in the gray tells her to pull over. This one that gets out the car running towards her, pissed off with an attitude, grabs her door aggressively. That would have scared me. Look what he got on his head. A black freaking mask. Okay? There is a mask on his face like he's a robber. That's how these ICE agents look. They're all dressed in black. They got a black hoodie on, a black ski mask on, running around wreaking havoc in our cities. That's what's going down. Look how they're dressed. They're dressed in all black. This is ridiculous. He goes up to her car. He cusses, get the fuck out this car. He did say get the out of the cat, but still no reason to shoot. As soon as she pulled away, he shoots. It's wrong. People can't spin it anyway. People can spin it. You can spin it, spun it, spoosh it, spun it around, slap it on his butt. How you want to react to this. The bottom line is the ICE agent killed a woman today. And the blood is on his hands. There it is right there. The blood is on his hands. Psh, psh, psh. Snap, crackle, and Papa Doolittle. Trigger warning.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck?
All right, her car then drives.
Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck?
Look how he's
All
looking
right,
back
her car
at her.
then drives off, obviously as her foot is still on the gas. But let me just go back and show you this in slow motion, because there's no reality in which this ICE officer's life was in danger.
At all.
The ICE officer in this frame.
His danger it was no danger at all. And it doesn't matter how many times I see this video and how many times we watch it. These guys were not in any danger of this woman in this car. She had no weapons. If you want to take her to jail and book her, that's fine. But shooting at her while she's driving off is coward. And then you kept shooting. He kept pow, pow, pow. He kept shooting.
Right here is essentially reaching almost through the window, but reaching from behind her. Like from this angle right here, he is basically shooting her from behind. There's other angles I want to show you as well, but I think it's really important to show you how the Trump administration is spinning this after I showed you that first video.
Now this right here, hold on to your seats.
Tricia McLaughlin said, who's a spokesperson for the DHS, she said, today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle. Already, the road was not being blocked entirely. There was one car in the middle of the road, and there were cars passing it. They weren't just blocking ICE officers. They then say one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them. An act of domestic terrorism. The immediate spin of this victim to a domestic terrorist is disgusting. I don't think the domestic terrorist in this video is the person inside the car. I'm just going to say that. To continue, she says, an ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. They are immediately trying to turn this into a self-defense argument. I will firmly state,
you have to be in danger to have to be in self-defense. The car was behind him, in front of him, and he was still shooting. Hello, Payne. Welcome. That's right, Lisa. I agree with you.
that was a disproportionate use of force based on all of the videos and the eyewitness reports that we've seen. Quote, an ICE officer fearing for his life fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. I'm sorry, were his fellow officers really in that much danger? Everybody is entirely behind the car. With this freeze frame right here, it really looks like the officer is essentially executing this woman from behind. This was a protester who was already scared of ICE. It looks like they have a bunch of stickers on the back of their car, so they're probably just somebody who's politically inclined, already scared of ICE. Then a bunch of ICE agents come up to the vehicle, surround them, yell conflicting reports, and as they try to drive away, they are shot and killed essentially from behind, as you can see on this frame.
Already freaking out, already scared. These people are running. But he didn't shot her.
Frame right here. I think it's really important to show you what Mayor Jacob Frey said right after. He brought the exact type of energy that was needed. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey told them to get the F out of our city. Let's watch these clips.
They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed.
Aren't they supposed to be targeting criminals? Isn't ICE supposed to be targeting the worst of the worst, yet U.S. citizens?
They all love talking about the illegals that's over here doing stuff that are, rough and tough and, the gangs and the drug lords and stuff like that. They love to blame it on that. They love to say, oh, we're doing it in the name of that. No, you're doing it in the name of nasty, disgusting behavior. Let's put it this way. I don't know who all is white and who all is black in my channel here. But my question is, what if you were the color of the skin that they were coming to look for? What if it was you? I could easily see myself be that woman in that car. I could easily see myself be that woman at the house cleaning, and then all of a sudden ICE knocks on the door and tells me to put my hands behind my back like I'm a criminal. I'm not a criminal.
are somehow being killed, yet every other day there's a story of a new US citizen having their rib cracked or having their car crashed into. What happened to the administration targeting quote unquote criminals? Let's continue to hear what Mayor Jacob Frey had to say.
We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis. Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people.
Quite literally. I'm glad the mayor is meeting the moment. This is the viral clip.
There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city,
Hi, Cassandra.
and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
There's no other way to say it. He said it very strongly, very plainly. Now I want to
Get
show you how
out.
Kristi Noem got on TV and spun this only moments after it happened.
Questions there. You asked about a shooting that we just had in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our
Wait, on which side? Who committed the terrorism? Because this woman was seemingly just driving away and she was shot from behind.
He did. He's
ICE
the
officers who
terror.
are undertrained or using disproportionate force and killing U.S. citizens. And you're going to call the U.S. citizen a terrorist?
ICE officers were out in enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them.
That is not what the video shows
A
at
woman
all.
attacked
Those
them.
surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
Oh my God.
An officer of ours acted quick.
Listen to the media. Listen to how they're spinning it. It's really disturbing. She got out of the car. She was pushing. She was doing all this stuff. And they really packed it on.
quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information.
News, whatever, Fox News, hello, of course, they're going to report it the way they're going to report it. So basically, they're trying to say that she was this person of unruly and getting out the car, being aggressive and doing all this other nefarious things. And so at that point, they had to shoot her.
But this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day.
What assault are they under? Did we miss something? Did I miss the shooting? The shooting only saw one aggressor, only saw one aggression, one person violating another person. She's gone. She can't come back and tell you that she was trying to drive away and why. He didn't give her that opportunity.
This is incredibly infuriating. Based on the video that she's describing, she must have watched a completely different video, because you think there's like a group of ICE agents who are being driven towards in a violent way. No. It's a woman who is trying to get away, who is very simply getting conflicting commands, likely is scared of ICE due to the political predisposition of her, of the way that she's protesting. Then as she's driving away, she gets shot quite literally from behind. I'm going to continue returning to this freeze frame because this is an officer reaching up, pointing a gun basically at a window or through a window and killing somebody from behind. The way that Kristi Noem has responded is so disgusting that even Fox News couldn't spin it. I'm not even joking. Listen to the way that a Fox News host is like, listen, this is not how I saw the video.
He then said, get the F out of this city to those ICE agents. John.
Yeah, I've seen the video several times as well. Kind of gone through it frame by frame. I don't want to describe it because you can't see the entire scene play out. There's an area in front of the vehicle that is obscured by the vehicle itself. So we don't know 100% what.
Look at all these people that have shown up for her. Look at all these people that have shown up for her. Thank you, Lisa. I don't know what video they're watching. That ain't the video we saw. That's not what we saw. Domestic terrorism. Are they for real? This is madness. A 37-year-old unarmed woman. They're spinning it. They're not going to be able to spin it this time. People should be outraged and disgusted.
Happened during that incident. But what I saw, it does counteract the narrative that they were trying to push their car out of the snow.
Yeah, it counteracts the entire effing narrative, not just pushing
The ICE agent said that they got out to try to push themselves out of the snow. No, you didn't. You got right out the car, went right up to that lady's door, told her to get the fuck out of her car, being very in a black mask, looking scary, looking like the Black Knight, looking scary. I've been like, get out of my way, get out of my face. I would have been trying to get out of there too, and they would have shot me. And they'll be having this conversation. Oh, Letitia was a thug, and she was this, and she was that, and she didn't, and she, no, she's this and that. She was going to try to kill him with her car, unalive him with her car. Sure I was. No, I wasn't. Look at all these people.
car out of the snow part. That's clearly not true.
There's
there
no
was nowhere in this
snow.
video where a car is being pushed out of the snow, but also the idea that she was directly trying to drive at multiple officers in order to intentionally kill them. What?
No.
The ICE agents who were involved here, because that vehicle was clearly in the middle of the street as it was approached by a couple of federal agents.
Yes.
Before it sped off. So
Yes.
again, we'll wait until we get clearance to look at this video and have eyes that are more expert than mine take a look at it. But clearly there are very, very conflicting opinions of what happened.
Even
there are very, very conflicted opinions about what had happened. And that's why you need to look at it with your own two eyes to see it for yourselves and not go off of what everybody is saying, not even me. And then after that, make your own conclusion. But don't justify this man's actions to shoot her from the side and from behind. He kept shooting her as she was driving away. He was pulling that trigger as fast as his finger could go. That's right, Lisa. That's right. We're almost at the end of this.
Even Fox News is calling this bullshit. Even they're approaching this with more caution than I've ever seen them approach any story before, because they know they can't just lie to people in the same way that Kristi Noem did. They are not going to get away with this lie, and we're going to continue to call out their bullshit every single day. As Christine points out, Christine Pelosi tweeted, quote, "Tragically, ICE agents shot a U.S. citizen within seconds of yelling at her to move. Secretary Noem, look at the photos for the truth. The driver moved the car backwards when directed by DHS personnel, then was told to move, tried to drive away. Within seconds, she was shot dead. This administration will not be able to lie about this incident."
Listen, tragedy, ICE agent shot a U.S. citizen within seconds of yelling at her to move. Move. I hope Demon Dictator is still on.
They will not
You're
be able to
giving her conflicting things to do. ICE tells her to move the car. One guy tells her to get out the car. Tragically, ICE agent shot a U.S. citizen within seconds of yelling at her to move. Look at the photos for the truth. Driver moved car backwards when directed by your DHS personnel. Within seconds, she was shot dead. We pray for her family and demand justice for her killing.
Cover this up in the same way that they've tried to cover up the Epstein files and Trump's health and the economic numbers and every other issue under the sun. We have clear video
there
of
you
this,
go.
and we are going to
Listen.
continue to show the American people that ICE is reckless.
It's reckless. ICE is reckless. He said something. Forgot what he said.
Will not be able to lie about this incident. They will not be able to cover this up in the same.
They will not be able to lie about this incident, and they will not be able to cover it up and sweep it under the rug. People saw what they saw. They seen what they seen. They're not confused by the situation and what they saw. They saw her trying to get out of the way. One ICE agent told her to move. The other one told her to get out the car. She was moving because they told her to move. Then when she took off to try to go, pow, pow, pow. What the heck was he thinking?
The way that they've tried to cover up the Epstein files and Trump's health and the economic numbers and every.
Yeah, what about the economic numbers and the that they're trying to hide? They're trying to hide the economic numbers of how many jobs we have and how many have been removed. Why are we not seeing that? Because Donald Trump doesn't want to see how bad we're doing. He didn't have a gun drawn on her. Not yet, Demon Dictator. The gun wasn't showing. This man came up to, everything happened so fast. You got to realize that she has seconds to decide on what she's going to do according to what everything is going on around her. I got one guy telling me to move. I got one guy telling me to get the F out the car. And then, but I'm going to move. You knew she was going to move because she reversed her car and was putting it in a direction where she was moving away from them. She was moving away from the ICE agents. And one ICE agent was so gung-ho on getting a hold of her, trying to reach her and touch her to the point where he shot her and ended her life. And like this gentleman said and others, there was no excuse for this behavior.
The other issue under the sun. We have clear video of this, and we are going to continue to show.
We have clear video of this. We can see it. I thank God there's a video, and now we can make up our own mind on what happened. Because in the beginning, I was still trying to figure out why would she deliberately try to kill these people? That was a suggestion. And I was thinking to myself, I wouldn't want to deliberately try to kill you guys. If anything, I'll be trying to get away. Yeah, she could have did that, but not necessarily. I don't really think they gave her too many choices. You got one grabbing at her door, yelling at her. You got one behind her telling her to get out the car. No, you had 3 to 4 ICE people coming up to her car, doing or telling her what to do and what was going on. They told her to get out the car. They told her to move the car. Which one? She decides to move the car. Because I heard the gentleman when he said, move your car. Yes and no. How didn't she know that when she got out of the car, he was going to hit her or throw her on the ground or do something weird to her? He was weird looking. I would have been afraid to get out. I would have been afraid to get out the car. I would have been like, hold up, wait a minute, back up. You know, your tone is off. You're coming at me like you're going to shoot me or some shit like that. Back up off me. And sure enough, they did. They shot her.
The American people that ICE is reckless, undertrained, and using disproportionate force. Thank you all, and peace out.
You're watching The Legal Breakdown. Glenn, we have some major breaking news here. An ICE officer has shot and killed a U.S. citizen who was attempting to flee the scene in Minneapolis during a protest against ICE. So I'm going to put about 15, 20 seconds of the footage right here on the screen. A trigger warning for anybody who's watching it. This is obviously disturbing footage.
Trigger
I'm also going to
warning.
take the sound away. So here is a quick clip of what happened in Minneapolis.
So you got this guy right here telling her to get out. He even points to the sidewalk. He tells her to pull over and get out. Actually, not get out, to pull over. Watch his body language. This guy right here in the green points to the points and tells her to move the car. Move the car. This idiot draws his gun. Watch this. So he tells her to move the car out the way. He tells her to get the fuck out the car. So I'm confused by this time. I'm moving. This guy in front of us pulls out a gun way before anything. He comes around the corner. She's trying to make sure she doesn't shoot him.
Now, Glenn, that's one angle. There are obviously other angles that are floating around the internet right now, but I think all of them generally show roughly the same thing, which is that there is an ICE agent right at the corner of the vehicle, that the person in the vehicle was attempting to turn the wheel so that they could flee the scene. And of course, the ICE agent used that as the opportunity to shoot and ultimately kill the person who was in the vehicle. So first and foremost, can I have your reaction to the footage that we just saw? And then I'm going to read some of the responses from the law enforcement agencies.
Brian, I've watched multiple camera angles, including a close-up, slow-motion version of that deadly shooting. And to this old prosecutor, it looked like criminal homicide, some level of homicide, whether second-degree murder or manslaughter.
Homicide.
But I've tried to absorb as
homicide, first degree, second degree, third degree, some kind of way he should be locked up. He shouldn't be at home with his wife and kids having supper. No, he should be locked in a cage.
As much information about the shooting as is out there presently, and I will let you read the statement that was issued by DHS, because I also saw Kristi Noem make a statement, and it was so infuriating and such pure propaganda that factors into my conclusion about what I'm seeing there.
So the statement by ICE, by Homeland Security, was as follows. I'm going to put this right here on the screen. Today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them, an act of domestic terrorism. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. And of course, the statement goes on, but that is the crux of basically the narrative that Department of Homeland Security is sticking with right now.
That is pure propaganda based on what the video captured from multiple angles. So let me add to that what I heard Kristi Noem herself say. She said that our ICE agents' car got stuck in the snow and they were attempting to push it out of the snow when this, terrorist came up and tried to ram them with her car. Brian, when I heard that, I was so effing outraged, because what we see, let's break it down, and then let's talk about the law that applies to a police-involved shooting, something that I was, involved in as a career homicide prosecutor multiple times, trying to assess whether what we see was a legitimate exercise of police force, whether it was excessive, but perhaps understandable, or whether it was flat out criminal. So what Kristi Noem said is so contradicted by the video, because what we see, one camera angle that you just displayed, there is a woman. Now, you can't see that she's a woman, but reportedly the person killed was a woman driving this vehicle, is actually trying to back up to get out of the way.
Yeah, and by the way,
she was trying to back up to get out of the way. She was trying to back up to get out of the way. Okay, I saw that curve of a backup kind of thing that she was doing.
I'm gonna put that right on the screen as you talk here, so people can see the vehicle backing up, turning the wheels, and then driving away.
Yep.
But go on.
I mean, this is such a direct refutation of what Kristi Noem said.
Look
it
at her
appears that
wheels.
there is
Look at
a
her
white
wheels.
ICE vehicle, identified as an ICE vehicle, stopped in the street. You see this woman slowly backing her car up to get out of the way of the ICE vehicle so she can go around it and be on her way. And as she is, after she is backing up, she obviously puts it in drive. She begins to move forward. She turns her wheel away from the officers who are kind of to the front left of her vehicle, and she tries to go around the ICE vehicle.
And he shoots.
And one of the officers opens fire on what I believe is an unarmed woman who I don't believe is wanted. I haven't heard that there was an arrest warrant for her. She was a known, dangerous person, and they kill her. That to this old prosecutor looks like an actionable criminal homicide. I use the word homicide because it could be, for example, a second-degree murder. It could be a lower level of homicide, criminal homicide, a manslaughter. But, that to me does not look like a justified use of deadly force. When does an officer get to engage in deadly force? Brian, it's actually not that different from when you or I would be lawfully entitled to exercise self-defense, including lethal force. If an officer is at imminent risk of death or serious bodily injury as a result of being confronted by these circumstances, the officer can engage in force, but only that amount of force necessary to repel the attack. But if you are about to be killed, let me break it down from legalese into English. If you're about to be killed, you can exercise lethal force to defend your life. If somebody else is about to be killed, a police officer can exercise deadly force to protect that third person's life. But you know what you can't do, Brian? You can't shoot at a car that is trying to drive around a vehicle that is not posing an imminent risk of death or serious bodily injury to anybody based on what I'm seeing from those multiple camera angles. So assuming that this is criminal conduct, and it sure looks like criminal conduct to me, the next question is, what will be done about it, if anything, by either federal law enforcement authorities or state law enforcement authorities?
And I want to jump into that in just a moment, but I have to read one more statement and get your reaction to this. This is Trump's response to the footage. He said, quote, "I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly."
No, the lady that was screaming, Donald Trump, was scared for her life. She was screaming because she saw it unfold and was seeing it happen. And it scared her. I'm just trying to let Donald Trump know what state and frame of mind people were probably in at the time of this situation. Because he likes to pretend like there's this fantasy going on. And there was this girl in the back screaming. He called her an instigator. Well, she's not an instigator. She's someone watching it unfold, and it's scaring her as she watches it. No, and it wasn't a terrorist attack. It was no big rioters out there doing stuff. Their story isn't adding up. I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional instigator. No.
Obstructing and resisting.
It's not about her being an instigator. It was her seeing it unfold. That was her real raw emotions. Something that you don't pick up on all the time, I guess, Trump. And then the woman driving the car was very disorderly. Nope, she was getting out of the way. They told her to move. She was moving. Then one guy grabbed her car and scaring the hell out of her. And then this other guy pulls out a gun and starts shooting at her. Like she's some criminal. Disorderly obstructioning and resisting. She wasn't resisting who? Who then violated willfully and vigorously ran over the ICE officer? Nobody was ran over. Who seems to have shot her in self-defense? Self-defense means that there's a weapon coming at you, being pointed at you, and you are about to lose your life. He was not about to lose his life. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive. Who? The guy that didn't get hurt? But he is now recovering in the hospital. That's BS. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers. Do you listen to what he's saying? Our radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers. No, they're not. And then ICE agents on a daily basis, they are just trying to do their job of making America safe. How? And they're killing us. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. This is a bunch of BS. That's right, Darcy. Our country was founded and built on the sweat of determination of immigrants. Yeah. Now we're taking people's land, taking their leaders. People are coming into your house any time of the day to pick you up because you could be an illegal person. All right, guys, we're going to move on. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to do this video on Megan. I think Lauren is... All right, we're moving on.
Paris Fashion
Peers just give you an Oscar because you've been working now for 7 or 8 years. You know, turning into, as Timmy said, some top level.
Yeah.
And then roll into the Critics' Choice Awards 90 minutes late. That like the way it's even being reported bothers me. That's not 90 minutes late. That's blowing off the entire ceremony leading up to when your category is announced. That's what that is.
And you
it's
don't you sympathize for the poor seat filler that by 90 minutes in, you think that this is your seat for the rest of the night, right? Like 90 minutes in, you're like, wow, I have one of the best seats in the house because you know he was positioned in a place because they knew he was going to win.
Mhm.
And they're probably thinking, I've hit the jackpot. I am here all night long. And then right when the going gets good, somebody comes up and swoops you out and they're like, he's here. You got to go sit in the nosebleed seats now.
Them's the breaks. That's the business, you know? But I also loved how he got up and accepted the award and feigned humility, trying his little false humility act.
Oh, that's so funny. I love Ethan Hawke. Reality Bites was on the other night, and I was like, everyone stop what you're doing.
You go into his studio. It's his whole, it's his.
Everybody wants to dissect this and debate it. And I'm like, is there really anything to dissect and debate? These people are horrible bosses. Megan was in Horrible Bosses. Inconveniently, she is. I think that she just continues to prove that she is one. What was your major takeaway from those headlines while we were away on the holiday during the holidays?
Two things. The first being, I actually think that these departures and the resulting headlines were probably somewhat of a nice relief for Megan because it distracts from the very recent news that her father just had his leg amputated and was in an ICU in the Philippines. And she took days to reach out to him. And when she finally did, she sent a handwritten letter, no doubt in calligraphy, via carrier pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
And it arrived, we were told, quote unquote, safely in his hands. And that letter said in sum and substance, nothing's changed. And, you know, and I think that she's banking on the news cycle moving so quickly that people will just forget. And I certainly will not. We at The Nerve are a dog with a bone. As far as this story goes, she is reprehensible. She is disgusting. I cannot stand her. I think that that will seal her fate in terms of marketing herself as any sort of do-gooder, let alone creator of Home and Hearth. The second thing I wanted to ask if you can talk about, you have a theory or it's reporting, forgive me, I forget exactly why Meredith left, and it goes to the Harper's Bazaar magazine profile.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So my Meghan and Harry source says that it's not just the Kardashian fallout. It's being reported that Meredith Maines, told them I'm done after they lied to the press about why they wanted their pictures removed from the Kardashian social media accounts. Initially, they said, we didn't sign the consent forms that would allow the Kardashians to share photos of us on social media. And you're like, LOL, then why pose for photos? Then the Kardashians sit back, Two People magazine, Harry and Meghan's besties crew, saying, we didn't have consent forms. It's a birthday party at Jeff Bezos's house. Like that's not the way this works. Now, if you and I both know, if they did this for the reality show, there might be signs outside that say, you are entering this venue
Hello,
where there
honey.
is a reality show being filmed, and you are giving us permission to show your image because of this reality show. But it was at Jeff Bezos's house. That sounds like they did. That piece was by Meghan and her crew. They handpicked people for this journalist to interview. Serena Williams talking about how Meghan was the smartest person in the room. They choreographed that lunch where the journalist says, it's so.
We're still laughing. And we're also laughing at the photo that, you cannot, they're so they're both so dumb. And this goes to show they play checkers, not chess. They think that they'll solve a problem by asking the Kardashians, really telling them to scrub all the photos of them.
Beam has transformed over 26 million nights of sleep. So if you've been
tray table dinners and reading Ms. Magazine while watching Jeopardy, and now the LA race riots. And she's kind of like, I'm sure she would love this comparison. She's kind of like the Jesus Christ of the Bible, where there's like this gap in recorded personal history from, say, the age of 12 to, say, the age of 30. And we don't really know where Meghan was during that time or really what she was doing. I mean, we know she went to Northwestern, but, she will not really speak about her life in any way that feels consistent, or I'll use one of her favorite words, authentic, and I would die for like any reporter who finds themselves seated across from her, or any sort of conversationalist basically on the verge of him breaking up with her.
Also living any publicity. So it's so interesting. You're so right that there's just not a consistent version of her story. Where does the truth begin and Meghan's truth begin? I'm at a loss. I don't believe anything
never
she says.
begins.
We know, you and I know. I mean, these are my opinion. I will speak for myself. My opinion. The reason Thomas Markle has been exiled is because Thomas knows her real personal history. Thomas, and as do her half siblings, Samantha and Thomas Jr. How did she really meet Harry, and how did she really lock that down when she was like basically on the verge of him breaking up with her?
Also living allegedly with a chef in Toronto,
at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you're right. There are so many questions that surround it. You mentioned the Kardashians, and I missed a very good opportunity right there to transition to this Kardashian story that I thought was hilarious. Sources on the Close Personal Friends set talking about Meghan Markle's cameo, they said that there was a lot of curiosity about how Meghan would read on camera after so many years away. The genuine response was one of surprise, but unfortunately not a positive one in the end, as the performance came across as rigid and overly aware of itself. The insider said, I imagine that's herself, there are jokes going around that by comparison, it is so wooden, it will make Kim Kardashian's acting seem almost award level. One critic described her performance as lacking emotional range or magnetism, reinforcing the perception celebrity casting was prioritized over acting ability. Well, duh. Another source with knowledge stressed Markle was playing herself in the project, but said she isn't even very good at that when cameras are switched on. I guess, what were we expecting? I think we knew exactly what we were going to get with this. Meghan taking herself too seriously. She has been for the last 6 or 7 years now.
I mean, I've said this before, and it bears repeating. I think she can't play herself because she doesn't know herself. And what she does know of herself, she doesn't like. That's why we're trying to bury excise our family of origin. It's why we tell 3 Pat stories from our childhood, early adolescence that make us look like a firebrand, not like a kid. I think she thought her greatest role might be as I actually have a question to ask you as Duchess. But you know, we saw it in the Netflix specials, you know, the With Love Meghan specials. She's so uncomfortable to be around because she cannot relax and just be herself and just let it fly. Like I feel uncomfortable watching it. Like that's the last person I would want to be in a room with. Like she hovers and she's on top of everything and every detail. And like, remember when Daniel took in season 1 part A, took like a bite or a sip of like a taste of the honey, and her back was turned, and like she was like gonna scold him, but then she caught herself because the cameras are on her and she's got to look fun and carefree. Like that's Meghan in a nutshell. That's her problem. I'm gonna borrow from Lady C, as she said on The Nerve. She called Meghan insupportably dreadful. Insupportably dreadful. If I were ever to write a book about Meghan Markle, that would be the title. Insupportably dreadful. Now, I want to ask you this question though, Kinsey, because I've heard that there was reporting last week about William, Catherine, King Charles, and how when Meghan first came into the family, or Harry was first dating her, where did this come from? Because I've never heard it before and I don't believe it. That they were like, we need to find him a wife that will extract him from the family because he's so miserable being a royal. I saw no evidence of that up until the time that she came in. But this new version of events would have us believe that Meghan was like a beacon of hope to them because they needed to get him out in order to save his psyche.
No, that's crazy. No, I mean, right? the Queen wouldn't give up the Commonwealth to Harry and Meghan, which she was saying, I'm giving you these leadership roles in the Commonwealth. That was sacred to the Queen. It was the stability required to work with the Commonwealth because some things are shaky. You know, every once in a while, somebody's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. And then you're waiting for the next shoe to drop or whatever. So the fact that the Queen would trust them with the Commonwealth and had a bigger vision for them there tells me that that's a joke. I mean, Meghan, remember her, as she sat there in that green dress, I believe it was, during the engagement interview with the BBC, talking about how confident she was to leave the acting world behind and start her life as a working royal. I just don't think that they would have been having those types of conversations if they ever really did believe that it wasn't going to work. I think she just wanted to run the show, and when she realized she was never going to be Catherine and never had a chance of becoming queen, she, you know, this is all just them pitching one giant fit. They haven't stopped. It's been a meltdown for the last 5 years.
Now, let's talk about Meghan and Harry, a couple I believe will be on the divorce track soon if they are not already. They seem to be having so much financial distress. I mean, Netflix is done. Harry, as we last spoke about, has been giving, speeches to like real estate consortiums in Hiltons around America for a few $100K. Now, according to Radar, a report published December 28th, the headline, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, quote, set to charge fortunes for dinner dates after auctioning themselves off for $100,000. So if you have $100,000 and you would like nothing more than to spend an evening with these two, they're for sale. They are prostitute adjacent. Rob, have you ever seen anything like this?
The grift is real. I know a lot of tacky celebrities. If you buy a Real Housewife a vodka soda, you can spend the evening with her. But what I find so interesting about this is they pretend to be the opposite. Just lean into who you are now. You're reality stars. You should go and get a show on Bravo. This is who they are. They should be charging money to open car dealerships and futon stores around the country. Lean into it. This is who they are. And the truth the truth, Maureen. This is all who they've always been. They've always been this. If you gave Meghan a gift, a perk, a free dress, she'd turn up at your event. They are now, they've pulled back the Band-Aid, they've pulled back the curtain, and now there's no doubt about who they are. I do like the story, though, that just broke, that they might save a little bit of money on security. Now it looks as if the Brits are going to fund their security, and the headlines made me laugh. The headlines are, Harry can finally go back to Britain. The money wasn't stopping him. The security wasn't stopping him. Meghan don't want to go. Meghan is never, ever going back. She could have an armored car. We could hire all the guards in the palace. We could have every single military officer in Russia surrounding her. She's not going back. So now what's interesting is...
She's not going back, guys. Meghan is not going back. Rocky, no more treats. You've had just about 1 billion of them. You probably don't even have any left. What do you guys think about paying $100,000 to have dinner with Meghan and Harry? To just have dinner with them. Can you imagine that, paying that kind of money? Wouldn't it be... Hello, Tune the News. What's up? It's so good to see you. Hello to Lovely. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. And what do you guys think about the divorce rumors? We got divorce rumors. We got rumors that you can pay $100,000 to eat with Meghan and Harry. And who would want to pay that kind of money to sit down and have a blankless conversation with these two? Hello, Tune the News. Good to see you. And what do you think about a divorce? Divorce. I don't think there's going to be a divorce no time soon because she needs to hang on to him. She needs him more now than she did before because she's losing all credibility from everyone. Her jam is not doing very well. Her wines are not doing very well. I heard that she had a lot of inventory that she couldn't get rid of, which is not a good look. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Divorce rumors. Divorce rumors. She wants $100,000 a plate, and she's going to be in a new film. She's going to be in a new film. She's going back to acting. Well, now she's in desperate need to make money or have money or to be consistent with making money because Spotify and Netflix are gone. Spotify has been gone a long time ago. And then there was Lemonado, Netflix. Now Netflix is gone. Lemonado is gone. Now all we have is Instagram and the Jam. Let's see if she's posted anything today. Oh, yeah, she posted a few things. Let's take a look. She's doing some heavy, what you call that? Heavy advertising. I heard that too, Holly Sensitive. Is that true? Rock-a-doo-little. Rock-a-doo-little. Yeah, she is wicked. Something wicked. She is very wicked. And did you, Highly Sensitive? I heard that somewhere too. First I saw where he won, then I saw where he lost. So I was confused on which one it was going to be. Okay, a little bit more, and then I'm going to let you lovely people go. Okay. Here we go.
Is that if they don't go back, to see their dad, who is very sick. What's their excuse going to be? I think they're going to regret this. They actually enjoyed not having that security because they could turn up and say, we can't go. We would love to go. We would love to see the king, but we just can't go because we don't feel safe. They've no longer got that excuse.
Such a great example of be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for.
Right?
Be careful what you wish for.
And this also, so the headlines over the break about, vis-a-vis Harry and Meghan were really about them losing two very, very top key people, one of whom, Meredith Maines, had been Meghan's publicist. But my theory is that Meghan probably welcomed those headlines because they served as a distraction and kept the news cycle moving away from her father with his leg freshly amputated in a hospital in the Philippines, and her carrier pigeon sending a note to her father that said, in sum and substance, fuck off. I don't really care that your leg got amputated. We're not reconciling.
She did. Maureen, your take on the world. I want to have it every single day. Thank goodness for the nerve. You're absolutely right. Nobody knows how to change a subject better than a celebrity. Let me give you a funny example. Years ago, about 20 years ago, I was working with Jessica Simpson. She had broken up with Nick Lachey. It was the day Nick's album dropped, his solo album, his big comeback without Jessica. She decided to dye her hair red and wear a dress cut down to here the very day that his album dropped. She got all the attention with about 5 million that she made from Suits. All sounds like an enormous amount of money we would love to all have, but when you live like them, when you want to live like Oprah, that money goes really, really fast. And the money, this is what their Achilles heel is and nobody's talking about. The money to start up the business was their money. Harry and Meghan were so confident that this would be $1 billion brand.
Ever?
They never, ever raised any funding for it. They financed it themselves. They've lost everything.
They're such idiots. I never took econ or business, but even I know if you're starting a business, don't use your own money.
Never, ever use your own money.
Watch an episode of Shark Tank. That's all you need to know. It's educated generations of Americans. Okay, what do you make before we move on to a gossip?
Oh my God, do you guys think they're broke? Do you think they're broke? Like they're not doing well? I'm not saying broke, but they have to maintain this lifestyle.
Story that is a bombshell that has gone woefully underreported in the mainstream media. Harry spending the New Year's break away from.
She thought that this was going to be her ticket to Oprah. Her ticket. She thought that all she needed to do was slap the Duchess of Sussex on there, or as ever, and she would have I'm going to be successful. Yes, when you spend a lot, then yes, exactly. The love.
Meghan in another state skiing with his pal, the polo
10 minutes,
star
and I'll let
Nacho
you guys
Figueres.
go.
Yeah, and under a different name. He's now going by Harry Wales. When he was introduced at the polo match in the programs,
Did he do that,
it's Harry
Rob?
Wales. He's not Harry Sussex, which is really interesting because my sources have told me for a long time he would actually be okay losing the Sussex title. He's not that invested in it. She is. She told her friend Mindy Kaling on her show to call her Sussex. She is a Sussex in the Vanity Fair cover story. An assistant walked into the room and proudly announced, "The Duchess of Sussex is here." Da, 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 da.
Right,
She
the
likes
empty
that
townhouse.
Sussex name. She really, really wants it. He doesn't really care so much about that. He will always be a prince. He goes by the name Wales. When he was at school, his name was Wales. When he was
Not
in the
Windsor?
army, he was Harry Wales. That's the name that he went by when he was growing up. So it was so interesting to me that not only was he not with that, but he had reverted to Harry before Meghan, which is Harry Wales. And
See,
name's
I-
important.
I agree with you. It's very important, and I find it cannibalistic, and I find it like almost an assault against William, who is the Prince of Wales, whose wife is Catherine, the Princess of Wales, their mother, Diana, the Princess of Wales. Now Harry's glomming back on
wants back.
to an identity, but it feels needlessly aggressive.
Yeah,
like that's the last thing he should be doing.
Right, but once again, this is who they are. Like, you know, they're tone deaf about this stuff. To not be with her, to be with his friends, to be playing polo, to really be stepping back in time. He misses that life. Everybody that I know who knows Harry well, he doesn't fit in LA. I don't fit in LA. Like when you go to LA, they don't look like Harry. The men look very different to Harry. They're not balding. They have amazing teeth. They all look like movie stars, unless they're really, really rich like Jeff Bezos, and he's not that. And so Harry falls between two stools here. He's not a Hollywood hunk. He would never be allowed into those parties if he wasn't a prince. He knows it. It's really hard to make friends. Anywhere in the world, it's hard to make friends after you're 20 years old. And so all the friends that he had, the life he had, the fun he had, now it's all gone, and he's sitting in Monticello with his wife and his children and their chickens and their dogs and not much else.
You know, you're so right, Rob. That's such a smart observation. He doesn't know the codes. You know, the codes in
No,
LA
he's a
and
royal.
California are
He's
far
a
different
royal
than
all
the
his
codes
life.
Vicious.
in aristocratic circles in Britain. You're so right. And it's hard.
He's been a royal all his life. That's all he knows, how to be Harry, the prince. He's not used to being in Hollywood trying to act, and then he stutters his words. Nope. He's a prince and will always be a prince. He's like a fish out of water being over here in Montecito and not with his family. I believe he misses them a lot. I do believe that he thinks Meghan is his new family, for sure. Thank you so much, Payne. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Thank you to Love. I got the hiccups. Ooh. Harry can't act. Harry can do speeches. That's what Harry does. He does speeches. But other than that, acting and being funny and all that kind of stuff, no, he misses the mark every time. Especially the twerking video when he's in there dancing and going in and out with his fingers. It looks weird. Not becoming of a prince. You can tell they rehearsed it because he was like, let's get in our positions. What do you think is going to happen to these two? They're not going back to the UK. Even if they would tell them to come on back. Come on back to the UK. We'll take care of you. They're still not going to go. Meghan is not going to set foot back into the UK. And that means that King Charles will never see his grandkids from Harry's side. Queen Elizabeth didn't get to meet Lilibet. Not in person. Meghan didn't take Lilibet over there so she could meet the Queen. Or the Queen could meet her. Like, woo. That speaks volumes. Why would she take her kids to the Philippines to see her father that's had an amputated leg? Why would she go do that? She wouldn't go do that. Just like she wouldn't take the kids to go see Harry's father. The kids are hidden. They're hidden. Yeah, she thought it was going to be working out differently. She thought she would have more deals at her footstep. More deals, more entrepreneurship, more, just more than what she currently has. More. But like DeLove said, Meghan must have thought this was all going to work out so differently. I'm sure she played it out differently in her head on how it was going to go versus how it's going. It's not going too good.
Harder the older you get to make new friends.
It is.
And at his level of fame, he's got to be suspicious of practically anybody who he didn't know from a long, you're so right. As the weather gets colder, blood.
All right, guys, I've been on here 3 times today. I will not come on here anymore tonight. Thank you. I may not be back tomorrow. A little bit of staying home from school. So if I don't get up in the morning to do it, then I won't be available to do it. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, sharing your time with me, and being a part of my Mimi show. And if you watched the beginning, give me your thoughts on the shooting. I would love to know your thoughts on that. And I'm praying for the family that has lost their loved one. Good night, everyone. I made it. I said I was going to stop at 2 when it turned 2, and I did.